Washington, and he enjoyed it. And it was good that his daughter, my wife, could, join him and experience it with him and see his joy. Yeah.
Yes. It was a very moving weekend. We were at the changing of the guard.
Yeah.
And you want to see something amazing. You want to see a lot of gentlemen in their 90s stand up to give a salute.
Oh, my word.
Oh,
It was
wow, that's
amazing.
chilling.
That's something else.
Oh, it was amazing.
Maybe someday we can watch Brad.
Yes.
Right.
Hope it's not World War III, though.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
man.
really.
Yeah.
No, I don't know about those Air Force guys though.
Nobody does. Come on, Kevin, jump in here, brother.
We're not bad people. We're not bad people. Just because we stay in motels, it's not our fault.
Charlene, are we all set?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Committee on Transportation. Our public hearings this afternoon, we have two bills. We're going to be hearing. One is LD 571 and then LD 123. Thank you for being with us. The meeting is being live streamed on the committee's YouTube channel, and all participants via Zoom can be seen and heard. If your mic is on, testifiers cannot be seen or heard until they're recognized by the chair. The meeting is also recorded and available on the committee's YouTube after the meeting is concluded, in case you want to go back and take a peek. Remind everyone to make sure your name is displayed the way you would like to have it, and as you are registered, of course, to testify. Public hearing process will start with the sponsor and then co-sponsors, followed by those who are testifying as proponents, followed again by those who are opponents, and then finally by those who are testifying neither for nor against. And when you're called upon, you'll be prompted or promoted from the attendee to participant and then back after you finish. When called upon, make sure your mic is unmuted and state your name, residence, and any affiliations you may have. All individuals who wish to testify must have registered in advance of the public hearing in order to be called upon to testify. If you're using the video, you will be sent an attendee invitation to the Zoom webinar via email. We'll now go to committee introductions, and we will start with Senator Farren. Good afternoon, Senator Farren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Brad Farren. I represent Senate District 3, which is the majority of Somerset County and the town of Rome and Kennebec County.
Thank you, sir. Senator Ben Chipman.
Senator Ben Chipman, I represent Senate District 27, which is part of the city of Portland, the beautiful downtown peninsula, Back Cove, East Deering, and several islands.
Thank you, sir. Representative Wayne Perry.
He's not here.
Not here. Okay, Representative Lynn Williams, I think he is caught between two committees as well.
Okay.
Representative Dustin White,
Not here.
not here.
Not yet, anyway.
Representative Mike Perkins, save me.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Representative Mike Perkins from District Number 77 in Oakland and Sydney. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Representative Bryant.
Thank you, Senator. Mark Bryan from Wyndham. I represent House District 24, part of the town of Wyndham. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, sir. Representative Bruce White.
Yes, thank you. And I am Representative Bruce White, District 109, which is half of Waterville.
Thank you. Representative Tom Martin.
He's not here yet.
Representative Kevin O'Connell.
Thank you, Senator. Yes, Kevin O'Connell, represent District 128, which is 96.5% of Brewer.
I love that. Representative Rich Zebra. Good afternoon. Rich.
Good afternoon, Senator. I am Representative Rich Zebra, District 68, the lovely towns of Naples, Sebago, Baldwin, Cornish, and Parsonsfield.
We'll see if we can work on your audio, Rich. It's a little bit difficult coming through. And the House Chair, Representative Danny Martin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Danny Martin, House 150, located in northern Aroostook County.
Thank you, sir. And I'm Bill Diamond, Senator from District 26. I live in Wyndham. In my Senate District 6 town, circle the lake of Sebago. Our analyst, Sam Prower, and also joining us at times is Karen Neto, Suzanne Voynick when we do budgets, and of course, Darlene Semino, who is our savior on many occasions, keeping us going as she is our technical expert, and we're pleased and proud to have her. And just take a moment and send our condolences to Representative Mark Bryant. His father-in-law passed away, and he was a serviceman extraordinaire, fought in the Second World War, and we really want to take our hats off and salute him and extend our condolences to Mark and his wife, Diane. Thank you for that, all he's done for us. We will now open the public hearing on LD 571. If I can find it. LD 571 is a resolve to name a bridge in the town of Veazey and Veazey, the Haywood Carl Spencer Memorial Bridge. Apologize for that. Presented to us by Representative Lyford of Eddington. Good afternoon, Representative Lyford.
Good afternoon, Senator Diamond and Representative Martin, members of the Transportation Committee. I am Peter Lyford, District 129, which is Clifton, Eddington, Holden, Veazey, and 3.5% of Brewer. I was asked by the town to bring this bill before you. It is the naming of a bridge, the Carl Haywood Spencer Memorial Bridge in Veazey. That is my presentation. I believe you do have a letter from the town to look at, and I'm not sure if anybody else is speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Lyford, for presenting the bill. Are there questions from the committee? Seeing none, and we have no registered testifiers other than you, Representative Lyford. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Sam Prower.
Senator Diamond?
Want to give us a little, just any background information you have or anything else you'd like to say to us?
Sure. Yeah. So this is a pretty standard bridge naming bill, and it does what it says it does in the title. We have received a letter from the town of Veazey in support of the proposed bridge naming, and we've also received a letter from Maine DOT that's neither for nor against, just giving the bridge naming process, background that they give on these bills. So.
Thank you, Sam. Are there questions from the committee for Sam? As we've seen before, and it's been our history as a committee, is that if there are no questions on a bridge naming in particular, we oftentimes go right to a work session. So if we have the appropriate documents, which we do have, we have the letter and from the town legislative body indicating their support. So we had no opposition, so I would go to Senator Farren.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we go to work session.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to go into work session. Discussion? Seeing none. We prefer to do this in a formal way when we go into work session right from a public hearing to make sure there's a nice trail here. So Darlene, would you take us?
Well, I need a motion.
We have a motion.
Motion.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Now
Yes, you
we're in
did.
work session.
Make a motion to move on.
Motion is going to work session. It was seconded. And there
Yes.
was no discussion. So that's what we're going to go into.
Okay, all right. I'll start with Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Danny Martin,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Mark Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin is absent, Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
and Representative Zebra.
Yes. Hey, listen, I switched to an internal microphone. Is it better audio now?
Oh, much.
Better, much better.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
And
good.
Representative Perry, absent, Representative Williams is absent, and Representative Dustin White, absent. So that's 9-4.
Motion to go into work session is passed 9-4, so it prevails, and we will now go into work session. Anybody have any questions on this bill, LD 571? Any comments? Senator Farren.
Yes, I would make a motion of ought to pass.
Motion's made to pass. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Senator Chipman. Discussion. Seeing none, motion to ought to pass on LD 571. All those in favor, Darlene?
All righty. Representative Perry is absent. Representative Williams, absent. Representative Dustin White, absent. Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Martin,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative White,
yes,
Bruce. Representative Martin is absent. Representative O'Connell
Yes.
and Representative Seabrook.
Yes.
Okay, 9 in the affirmative and 4 absent.
Motion ought to pass,
Ought to
9
pass.
in the affirmative, no negatives, and 4 absent prevails. So we'll now close the public hearing on LD 571 that just passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Lightfoot. Well, I'm going to now turn the committee over to, the chairmanship over to Representative Martin, the House Chair, since I have to present the next bill.
Thank you, Senator Diamond. We'll now proceed with LD 123, an act to make allocations from the Maine Turnpike Authority funds for the Maine Turnpike Authority for the calendar year ending December 31, year 2022. And it's my understanding that Director Peter Mills will be making the presentation. Director Mills.
Mr. Chair, would you like me just to do the formal introduction of the bill?
Well, I apologize, Senator. You know, they did the same thing to me at EUT yesterday.
I'll be brief.
LD 123 will be presented by our very own Senator Bill Diamond. Senator Diamond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is my privilege and members of the Transportation Committee, distinguished members, I might add. It's an honor and a pleasure to serve with you. It's my pleasure to introduce LD 123. You just heard the title. On or before January 31st of each year, the Maine Turnpike Authority must submit to the legislature its operating budget for the next calendar year. This operating budget, often referred to as the revenue fund budget, totals $50.2 million, including 10% contingency. This portion of the budget is about 32% of the total turnpike revenue projected for calendar year 2022. The remaining funds are raised for capital projects, debt service, and other expenses that must be accounted for outside of the operating budget by requirements of the bond resolution, which the MTA will explain in greater detail during their testimony. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm here to answer any questions you may have about LD 123.
Thank you, Senator Diamond. Questions from committee members? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We will now proceed as follows. The LD 123 will be presented by Director Peter Mills, to be followed by any proponents, followed by opponents, and follow those that wish to testify neither for nor against. For the record, it's my understanding that other than the presenter, Director Mills, no one has signed up to testify. Director Mills.
Yes, can you hear me okay, Mr. Chairman?
We can hear you and we can almost see you. Now go ahead.
We've set up with an experimental arrangement. I've got the conference room, rigged up so that I've got 4 or 5 helpers around the table here, but I'm in the middle and I hope you can hear me okay. And we're using a group microphone.
Director Mills, it'd be great if you could increase your volume a little bit.
Let me get closer.
Thank you.
Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3, Mr. Chairman. Is this better?
You're great. And now we can see you.
Yeah, well, that's true also. Mr. Chairman and Chairman Diamond and the other members of the Transportation Committee. I'm Peter Mills. I've been Executive Director of the Maine Turnpike Authority since March of 2011. And my 10th anniversary is coming up in a week. And so we've been before you at least on 9 or 10 prior occasions. The statute that we operate under does require that we present our operating budget to you for review and approval. And you're also invited to review all of the other elements of our budget. And in doing all of that, I'm afraid we've done what we've done in past years, and that is we've presented to you a lot of data on paper. I think we sent it to your homes. There's a lot there to review, and I have found in the past that it's better if I try to give you my own overview of where I think the Turnpike stands right now financially and strategically, and how we've responded, for example, to the COVID crisis, and what are the major projects that we still have on the horizon, and what has been the response in terms of traffic and revenue over the last year or two, and then invite you to ask questions of us as you may wish. And I've got people here that are involved in preparing all of these documents, so that I'm pretty sure that we can handle responding to almost any question that you have. I wanted to say that when the virus hit about 12 months ago, what it did to us for fiscal year, we operate on a calendar fiscal year. So 2020, we lost about $40 million in revenue over what we had projected to make compared with 2019. 2019 was the most successful year in the history of the Turnpike in terms of revenue and traffic, as it was, frankly, for many other people. 2019 was a banner year financially for many organizations. And we dropped off about 40 million. We dropped it not just in tolls, but our service plot. We usually get $5 or $6 million a year from the restaurants and gas stations in our service plazas. And our service plazas, our restaurants in the 5 service plazas essentially closed during the spring of 2020. And we had a lot of difficulty in getting them to reopen. We rent those properties out to a major company that has responsibility for operating those franchises. They also operated the Burger King and some other franchises at the Jetport, and those have still not opened even now. I think the Burger King is open part of the time, just for a few hours a day. But we've been very fortunate in working with them, and we're now back up to a point where the restaurants are there's at least one restaurant open in all 5 locations, pretty much around the clock, and we're pleased to say that is very slowly recovering. Our traffic dropped off rather dramatically, but it was almost all a drop off in commuter traffic by car. The trucks kept coming, and of course the trucks pay more of a toll than do the cars, and so we were glad to see them, and not just the 5 and 6 axle trailer trucks, but also the delivery trucks. The UPS and FedEx trucks were out there from dawn till dusk making deliveries of things that people were ordering from home. So the trucks did sustain us in terms of revenue and traffic during this difficult year. Car traffic has begun to come back a little, but we don't predict that we will see much of it until everybody gets vaccinated sometime around late spring, early summer, and when the tourists begin to gain courage and come back again. But we had, because of the way we handle our finances, because we typically, when we take on major capital projects, we do it at a time when we have reserve money with which to complete those projects, either reserves that have been put away because of borrowing or bonding that we've done, or because we've set aside money from revenue that we've managed to accumulate in what we call the bottom bucket, the reserve account. Well, this time last year, we saw our revenue begin to drop into the bottom of the well. And we had all of these contracts going on to rebuild the interchange up at mile 103, I-295, to widen the turnpike down here in Portland, to begin the process of rebuilding exit 45 down here, we're in the middle of rebuilding the toll down at exit mile 8 actually, the York toll. And we had a lot of work going on, including routine bridge and paving work. And we said, well, we've got the money. Even though our revenue is not coming in, let's just barrel ahead with it all. And we went ahead and signed a new contract to widen 3 miles of the road around Portland from 4 lanes to 6. And that contract is ongoing now. It's a $28 million contract. In 2020, we spent $106 million in capital expenditures with the rather expressed goal of keeping the economy alive in southern Maine, or at least doing our part to accomplish that. And at the same time, for 6 weeks, when we first got hit with this virus, we did what other people had done. We sent everybody we could home for 6 solid weeks, the people out of this office. And in the meantime, we kept the toll collectors there because they were basically outdoors. We gave masks and gloves and made sure they were very careful. But the maintenance people went home, by and large, except for those few that we really needed. And when we brought people back into work, we paid them to come. But you got a salary, and then you got paid for any work you did on top of that. And we did that for 6 weeks. Labor force was extremely grateful. They were just as nervous as all the rest of us were about what this disease was going to do to us all. But it did set a nice tone. And after 6 weeks, we brought back most of the people, and some of the people even now are still working from home intermittently. But but by and large, our building is back open. Has been open for quite some time, and we're on stream. We're very lucky here because the building is about 12 years old. We have a filtration system that is basically borrowed from what the hospitals use, and I've got my fingers crossed, but we have had no inter-workforce transmission of virus in this building. We got about 100 people that come here to work. We're spread out in here. It's a very safe building in which to work. We have had some virus in the field, and I don't think there's been work. It's mostly been people who brought it in from having gotten it somewhere else. So that aside, our purpose here today and in the work session is to try to be responsive to your questions. What the statute asks you to do is to review and approve the operating expenses, ironically, not the revenue, because the revenue comes in, it comes in as it comes in. It comes in on tolls. We collect typically $140 or $150 million a year, $1 at a time. Thank God for software and computers and for all of our cash toll collectors. But the revenue really isn't something that's yours to approve, but the expenses are. And the operating expenses in particular. And I think, frankly, that's what we should focus on, although it may be, from a policy perspective, quite interesting to you to understand what our reaction has been to the downfall in revenue in terms of planning our future capital projects. Most of what we have ahead of us to spend big money on are capacity issues, i.e. completing the widening around Portland. And the second one that is a capacity issue really is the rebuilding of exit 45 out here. It's a $28 million project, which we just signed. But we have made a conscious decision to go a little slow now on moving forward with some of our capital projects. And the one in particular that comes to mind is the completion of the widening in Portland from mile 46 up through Warren Avenue. That's widening around Portland it was in 2 phases, 3 miles, followed by another 3 miles. In other words, there was the south section, the north section. We're going to defer the north section probably, and the contract's all designed. It is all the design work is done. We think we will send it out to bid probably at this time next year. We were going to do it this year, and we decided against it. We're going to hold off. The other 2 or 3 major capital projects ahead of us are Saco is begging us for a new interchange down there, and they deserve it. They've got all those trucks coming in, all those water trucks coming in from Hollis that want to get on the turnpike in Saco, and they deserve better treatment. They deserve a better physical access to that road, and the commuters do. All those new housing starts out west of the turnpike have produced traffic that wants to get on the turnpike, either southbound or north, and they can't get there without coming into the Saco, taking Industrial Park Road, doing loop-de-loops, getting onto I-195, and then sliding into the toll plazas, and finally getting on the highway, going whichever way they want to go. Our plant, we have designed a $30 million solution to that, which we will probably go out. It's still being designed, but we probably won't go to contract on that until probably 2 to 3 years from now. But the people of Saco have been very, very pleased, and Biddeford have been very pleased that we've come up with a solution to that, to what is, I believe, the most congested interchange on I-95 in Maine. And then following on that, we have work to do in Biddeford. I won't go into detail about it, but there are things that can be done to improve that interchange. And then probably in the next 5 to 10 years, we will rebuild Wells. You know, if you get on at Wells and if you don't get into the right lane, you could be going to Boston when you wanted to go to Portland. And it's a little confusing and it's tight. And traffic is building down there. We need to accommodate it. So that's what we do for work. Well over half of what we generate for tolls, frankly, isn't in the operating budget that you are invited to approve. It's in our capital plan. It is because we are constantly responding to traffic needs and the need to build new capacity as this road becomes more and more used, more heavily used as time goes on. And some of the features of our operating budget that you might be interested in is that we support about 33 or 34 Maine State police officers who have an office in our building in the ground floor. They are the largest drug interdiction agency in the state of Maine for reasons that you can infer. They have an evidence locker down there where if you're ever interested, we might be able to get you access to. You'd be interested to see what you can find down there in that little room. I will tell you, I will warn you in advance that a large portion of it is just beer that they take from teenagers, but there's other stuff that's fairly high value and pretty devastating if it gets into the market. But about $7.2 million of our annual operating budget is spent on the Maine State Police. It's a fairly significant service that we render to the people of Maine broadly, but we also, you know, at any given moment, there are 3 to 5 of those officers on the road, and they earn their keep because of all the responses they have to make. At this juncture, I'd be happy to entertain your questions about any other specifics of we have about 85 plow trucks.
Yeah, Director Mills, before you proceed, I too would like to give an opportunity to committee members, if in fact they have any questions.
Sure.
From committee members. Seeing none, I guess you can proceed, Director Mills.
Well, I don't want to occupy your time unnecessarily, but we have about 80. We have 85 plow trucks. We keep them under cover. We do all of our own maintenance. We keep them typically for 15 or 16 years. At about age 7 or 8, we tear them apart sandblast them, repaint them, we put them back on the road again, and we get 15 or 16 years out of them that way. We have other heavy machinery that we manage, and we have a pretty good stable of mechanics to take care of them. We're still paying, our cash toll collectors are diminishing in number pretty steadily, and the COVID virus has actually accelerated the migration from cash to Easy Pass, or maybe it's accelerated or diminished the number of people that get on the road wanting to pay cash. I'm not sure which, but we are seeing less and less need for keeping people on some of our cash sites around the clock. The other part of our budget that is in front of you for review is what we call the reserve maintenance budget. And at the risk of confusing things a little bit, we have a whole category of expenses, major expenses typically, that we are directed to spend by the engineering firm that represents the bondholders, the bond trustee. And they pick out things that we are required to do, but they are not part of the standard operating expenses. Things like buying new trucks. The reason that these expenses of this kind are grouped the way they're grouped is that these are the expenses that the bondholders would say, don't pay those expenses until you paid us for the year. That's the whole philosophy of it. So we have two categories of expenses. The first category, which is in front of you for review and possible approval, is the expenses that everybody agrees you would have to incur every day, keeping the lights on, paying the toll collectors, the ordinary expenses of running the toll collection system, the computers, the office and everything else, and the Maine State Police for that matter. All of those are regarded as ordinary expenses that the road couldn't survive without. So we're allowed to pay those before we make a payment on the bond indebtedness. And then you have this other category of expense, which is buying something new, like a new plow truck, or paying certain categories of insurance. Those things come after the payment of the bond debt for the year. And so that's the reason for the distinction. Our expense presentation to you is one of the awkward things about this whole process is that we have to take this budget for 2022. We had to start by presenting it to the board last September of 2020, a year and a half early, to get them to approve it so that I could then have the authority to come to you in February now and say, okay, here's the budget for 2022 for your review and approval. And then I have to go take it back again to the board after you folks have said, yes, this is okay. Then I go back to the board for final approval sometime next fall, and then boom, it becomes the budget. So there's a lot in this, particularly on the revenue side, that is frankly out of date because this was prepared at a time when the COVID had just begun to hit. But the expenses are valid, and it's the expenses that the statute invites you to approve. The expenses of operating this road is essentially the same as what we had developed 8 months ago.
Director Mills, question. I have a copy of the LD, and I'm not sure if other committee members have them. Are you planning as part of your presentation to go through this document?
I wasn't planning to go through it in detail, but that's why I'm doing.
Not that it's required, but I just do want to give an opportunity for committee members to ask questions or make comments regarding any particular line item. My next observation is when this is discussed in work session and hopefully approved in some form or fashion, are you planning on making any adjustments to these numbers?
No, sir, these are ready for budgetary enactment. And I have the bill in front of me, and I'm happy to walk through parts of it if you wish.
Any questions from committee members? Seeing none,
It is interesting to observe that the word that is used for these is what we're asking, what the statute invites you to do is to approve what they call allocations.
Right.
In other words, you're approving things that are allocated out of our general revenue stream. And the revenue stream is much larger than what you're seeing here because for reasons I've explained. So you're really approving allocations, which are expenses, of course.
all right.
And we've got a narrative description of each one of the major categories, building maintenance and so forth in here. And I'm happy to either now or in work session to go over any of these.
Well, it appears, Director Mills, that at this time there are no questions from committee members. Does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it does.
Thank you. It's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Darlene, that there are no others who have signed up to testify, proponents, opponents, or folks that wish to speak neither for nor against. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, folks, that'll conclude the public hearing on LD 123. And I will turn over the gavel to our Senate Chair, Senator Diamond. If are there any comments or questions or closing statements?
Thank you. Hold on. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for that fine job. I would suggest that during the work session that we will probably get into this much more detail, so the director and his staff could be prepared for that. I think this is how we just handled that was pretty routine, but I suspect a little more in depth, which is what always happens in work sessions. So, Mr. Director, and if we can plan on that, that would be helpful.
We will.
Good. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Senator Diamond, I'm glad you were given an opportunity to present the bill. And again, I apologize. That's all I have. With that in mind, I guess we're all set, and we'll see you.
Hold on.
I think Brad has a.
Just a quick question to the chairs. I know we have a work session on Thursday. I know we talked a little bit about schedule for the following week, especially when we're going peers will be back in Augusta on Wednesday and Thursday. Have we had any discussions about what that workload might be for next week from the committee standpoint?
For the week of the 10th, when we're in Augusta, we have no public hearings on Tuesday, nor do we have anything else on Thursday. So we're off the hook for next week. And hopefully stay safe, and we'll see all of you next week. Representative White.
Oh. Hi, thank you. Yeah, and I should have said something earlier, but I just wanted to thank Peter Mills and whoever put the notebook together that they sent to us. And I especially like that sheet that had the quick facts on it. So thank you to you and your staff for doing that for us.
Oh,
Thank you, Representative Darlene.
Representative Thomas is back online. If he wants to hop on his screen, I can get his vote for LD 571.
Great. Representative Tom Martin, would you introduce yourself and cast your votes, please?
Yes, this is Representative Thomas Martin, representing District 57, Greenville, Nevada. And yes.
Is that your vote? So the vote was ought to pass on the bridge naming bill. Are you saying yes?
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Senator Farren, are you all set? Your hand's still up there. You're good? All right, folks, we'll see you Thursday at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Dan.
See you next week.
Hey, Senator Diamond, if you've got 1 second when we're all done here, don't go away, all right?
Did Sam have a question? I thought his hand went up. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have. Representative Seabra, are you all set?
Yeah, I just need to talk to Senator Diamond at some point. So if he wants to give me a call or if he wants to just stay on here, I don't mind.
I'll give you a call, Rich.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah.
Okay, sounds great.
See y'all later. Thanks.